This hasn't been something I've been talking about a lot because I'm not really an anime YouTuber, right? I haven't been watching like a lot of shows. I haven't been keeping up with a lot of anime happenings. I don't know anything about like the online culture. Like I'm not as willing to be critical about anime stuff as I am like gaming stuff because like, I haven't watched a ton of shows, right? In a lot of ways I'm kind of a neophyte to this kind of thing because although I've always loved anime, I've always like stood up for it as a medium as much as I love everything about it. Like I just haven't seen a whole lot. I'm watching my first ever Gundam series, right? And I'm only like what, 8 episodes in, right? Like Mobile Fighter G Gundam, like I'm really enjoying it. I like it a lot, but at the same time, what I try to say I'm some expert on Gundam or anime as a whole, like I'm not even sure like this is technically considered a good series, right? Because, I don't know anything about Gundam or what it's trying to do or like how the series ends or anything. Like I'm enjoying it to be sure, but at the same time, like I don't know, like there could be something dreadfully wrong with the series that I'm not aware of, right? And again, that's just my opinion, but again, like I don't want to comment on the anime community when I'm not like an expert on it. It's kind of my point, right? I think I've mentioned this in passing before, but I have been like coming out, like speaking out against like certain things in the community that I cannot stand. Most recently, I think has been the Hunter x Hunter thing. I really do not appreciate how people like try and pass off Hunter x Hunter as one of the all-time great series, when in reality I wouldn't even call it like mid. It's like it is like subpar. It's bad. Like there is nothing good about the opening arcs of Hunter x Hunter. It's just complete crap, right? Like 400 chapters later, I see nothing of value in the series, and I would not like continue addressing it if it wasn't for like the obsessive blind worship from the community, right? It's a real problem. But yeah, like Hunter x Hunter is garbage, right? It's not the only garbage series that is getting a lot of attention lately. I think JoJo's is the classic example of just a pure crap series that was really pushed as being like this amazing thing. And Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, is also like really autistic and really stupid. Like I don't I don't respect these shows and I don't respect their fans. I think they're crap. I think they're ridiculous. But on the flip side of things, right? And I do think this is the first time this has ever has happened. I am very much invested in an anime that everyone else is shitting on and trying to pretend is terrible, right? Like that's like what I'm angry about. That's what I'm having issues with right now is like the weird mindset among the community that Spy Family is not a good show. Now, to a certain extent, like we've been seeing this like since the premiere of the anime, right? I think even before that, because I remember seeing a lot of people like trying to say Spy Family would only be popular in Asia and stuff like that, and it would never take off over here. But what do you know? It became huge, right? Like it is hugely popular and successful. But But yeah, now that we're like 2 seasons in, a movie, like 100 chapters into the manga, right? Like all this time, all this development, like what exactly is the reception of Spy Family, right? Is it being considered one of the all-time greats? Is it being seen as like what it actually is, which is like a really radical departure from like the stereotypical anime formula, that isn't all that sexualized. It's not a battle series. It treats all the characters really respectfully. It's funny, it's charming. It's more of a family comedy series as opposed to like the traditional Shonen Jump like action series. Like it's something new and different is kind of what I'm saying. Is that like it's not just another ripoff of Dragon Ball. It's its own thing. It's innovative, it's fun, it's imaginative, it has great artwork. Spy Family is, I think, one of the best manga series ongoing right now. I can't think of anything I enjoy more than it. That's still ongoing, right? as much as I love stuff like Attack on Titan and stuff like that, like it's over now, right? Like Attack on Titan ended, you know. Like all my other favorite series have concluded or have like fallen off a long time ago, right? Like when I compare like Spy Family to Chainsaw Man, right? Like Chainsaw Man fell off a long time ago, but nobody wants to admit it, right? Chainsaw Man, because of its reputation as being like the grimdark, like hardcore shonen battle series, like it was like immune to criticism for a very, very long time. You know, I remember when I uploaded my video, like complaining about part two and how stupid it was and how like all the characters just how the plot wasn't going anywhere and how Fuji how Fujimoto was a complete incel and how that was like affecting his work and how that was like how he needed like real editors and stuff like that. Like there were a lot of things to say about like Chainsaw Man, right? Like it's fallen off, but we're in this weird position where like nobody wants to acknowledge it because like you can't criticize Chainsaw Man. On the flip side, because of like what Spy Family is like, because of like its themes, because of like its target audience, because of how popular it is, because it doesn't take itself all that seriously, like because of what Spy Family is like, the narrative is that like Spy Family is terrible, that it's like one of the worst things to come out of anime in recent years, that it's mid, that the characters are terrible or something, and it's just it's so out of touch with reality, honestly. Like I do like I just saw like a 30-second clip from like those retards at Trash Taste, who by the way, most aptly named podcast I've ever seen in my life. Like I have never seen someone like a group of guys come together to talk about anime and just have like the absolute worst takes like every single time. Like, oh, that's my favorite anime, hentai. Like fucking retard. So like yeah, I saw them like complaining about Spy Family, right? I saw them complaining about it, and you really get the impression that like they don't understand the characters or like the humor or like what the series is trying to do. And like it's been this way since the beginning, right? Like the reality is like when I see someone complaining about Spy Family, I don't respect them, right? Like there's no reason to think that these people have like any real ability to like criticize media, right? Because like uh what exactly do people have against Spy Family, right? What it comes down to, and I do think this is like the major thing, is that Spy Family is very antithetical to like the current culture. The current culture that like demonizes having children, demonizes domestic life, demonizes like having starting families and stuff like that, right? Like, oh, you should focus on yourself. Don't care about other people. Rah. Like Spam Family like spits in the face of that, and like quite effectively too, right? Like Spy Family, I can tell you, uh, far more strongly resembles a real family compared to something like Simpsons or Family Guy or South Park, you know, series that were like specifically conceptualized to demonize, you know, the traditional Western family unit, right? Spy Family is like the anti-Simpsons in that regard, and these people can't stand it for that reason. Like to them, like dysfunctionality is normal. Like to them, like families have to fight all the time to be realistic, right? They have to get into all these ridiculous situations, right? They can't like just be a family and be happy together, right? That's kind of the trend we've been seeing lately, I think, is just this very stubborn refusal to acknowledge that something like this has merit, that like it's not just some idealized version of the Western family, right? This kind of thing is very rooted in reality, and it does have a lot of appeal for a lot of people, specifically people who, like me, who are more well-adjusted, who don't jack off the cartoons, who actually go outside and touch grass, right? Like the reality is, I think the people who really hate Spy Family are the sort of people who hate children. Is my genuine feeling about this. Because if you don't understand why Anya as a character is appealing, when you don't understand like why the character, why the setup is appealing, when you don't understand like what the series is trying to do, like yeah, like that is exactly what I think of Spy Family critics is just anti family propaganda, right? Like I have no respect for critics of Spy Family whatsoever.